Hello friends, my name is Steve and this is Steve Talks Books and Stuff. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. Typically I read grimdark, horror, fantasy, a little bit of everything but mostly horror and grimdark, at least lately. Every week I try and record an update video just talking about what I've been reading, what I'm going to be reading, stuff that's come up on the channel, giveaways, things like that. So first, let's start off with a giveaway. Last Friday for the Friday Conversation, I had a talk with Thomas J. Devins. He's the author of the Fall of Emrose series, and the first book, Stone and Shield, has an audiobook. And he'll be giving away a copy of the audiobook. It is open to US or UK people who enter. So to enter, go to the video for the Friday Conversation and just type in if you want to enter the giveaway, or you can even type a sword emoji just to let me know that you want to be entered. Next Sunday, I'll draw at least one name, and that person will win a free copy of the audiobook via Audible for Stone and Shield. So go to that video, type in the comments section that you want to enter the giveaway, or even just a sword emoji to let me know that you want to be entered, and next week we'll draw the names and we'll be in touch with the codes for Audible. So this week was a busy reading week, and it was busy because I'm sure all of you have noticed, if you've been following the channel for a little while, that it was a busy week on the channel, have a lot going on. And I mentioned this last week. I'm not sure why all of a sudden I have all these interviews planned and all these discussions and conversations planned. And I love them. I love doing them. It's just weird that all of a sudden it just kind of blew up. And I have a lot of them scheduled, whether I reached out or someone reached out to me. So I'm very grateful to have the chance to talk to so many amazing people. And sometimes, I know I mention this a lot, but sometimes I just sit and think, I've talked to so many just different people from different backgrounds and just hear all these different experiences. And it's just a pleasure for me to have the opportunity. So thank all of you who support what I do. It's great that I'm able to do this and able to talk to so many different types of people. And I am coming up on the 1 year anniversary of the channel, and I just want to say to anyone starting their channel, if you have a few hundred subs, even just under 100 subs, that first 100 or so is tough. It can be a grind, it can be frustrating, it can be deflating sometimes, but stick with it, keep going. It can be a grind, so stick with it. If you're new, stick with it. If I can help you at all, reach out to me. I'll try and help spread the word. Whatever I can do to help, let me know if I can help you out, because I do know how frustrating it can be. So this week I did finish one book so far as of the time of this recording, and that one book was Lullaby. It's the second book in the Nightmareland series by Daniel Barnett. We were doing a group read for the entire series. We're meeting every other Saturday to discuss each book. Thankfully, this book is very thin. And the first book is a little disorienting and confusing, and you're trying to get, I won't give any spoilers, but you're trying to understand what's happening in the story. The second book ramps it up quite a bit, and I did enjoy this book a whole lot. This is a 5-star for me. It is short, but there's a lot going on here, and it's more horror elements. It's more like just disturbing stuff that's going on, and it's a small book with a lot packed into it. So we did have a meetup to discuss this book yesterday with Daniel Barnett. We're having him come on every other week, and we're having some very special guests joining us. And those of you who are in the group, I think I've been in touch with all of you, but Daniel is sending me paperback arcs of the 6th book, and I'll be sending that out to each of you if you're in the group reading it with us. The rest of the week has been taken up by this monster of a book, which is 11/22/63. I am almost done. I have about a little under 100 pages left. Wow, this thing is big. This has taken my whole week to read. I've been chipping away at it, but I mentioned last week it's been my favorite King book, and I still think it is. It's just something with Stephen King, and especially his longer books, that it just sometimes he gets on tangents and these side tangents, and it goes on for a long time. It's really drawn out, and sometimes I just want to get to the story, and I don't want these little side tangents and extra detail, and I understand that it's developing characters and it's giving you a view into the world, and I get all that. But when it's a 850 page book and there's 100 pages worth of like side stuff, it can get a little, it's like, okay, let's get on with it. While I appreciate what he does and the way that he develops characters, I think sometimes it's like, okay, let's back up on this a little bit. I do love the writing. It's just sometimes I think he's kind of showing off with what he can do with his writing. So he's that great at it that I think sometimes he just kind of veers off track a little bit. So, I mean, who am I? He's Stephen King. I'm just some guy with a microphone and a camera. So who cares what I think? But I love the book. It's a great book. It's just, I think it could be a little bit shorter. When you're investing, 14, 15 hours in a book, when there's a ton of just extra stuff in there that doesn't really move the plot along, I can deal with some of it. Like the first half, I was fine with it. But now that I'm getting towards the end and there's a lot, it's okay, let's move on. Let's get on with the story. I really like it. It's borderline 4 or 5. It's going to depend on the ending of 11/22/63, but it's right there. I mean, it's a great book. It's just, it's a little bit too much, but like I said, who am I? So after I finish 11/22/63, which will be today, which is Sunday, I'm going to be starting Hearts Strange and Dreadful by Tim McGregor. I'm having a meetup or an author conversation with Tim McGregor. I may not finish this before our conversation on Wednesday, which is going to be pre-recorded. May not have it finished by then, but I at least want to get it started, and it's a book that I'm excited to get to. I'm also having to start 2 more books this week because I'm way behind, because I was so determined to read 11/22/63 this year, but then I have to start Wizard and Glass, and it's another chunker. So I'm going to be using the audiobook for a lot of this. I tend to stay away from audiobooks because I drift off, but to help me get through this one, I'm going to use the audiobook. So I'll be doing that with this book, and that meetup is next week, and I'll get to all that here in a minute. And also I have to finish Beguiled by Night by Nicole Eigener. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name properly, Nicole. This is another vampire horror romance book that I'm reading with friends Stacy, Ashley, and my wife Brandy. So we're all reading this, and we're going to have a meetup next weekend to discuss Beguiled by Night. So very busy week on the channel. Earlier this week, I had a conversation with Catherine Silva, who is the author of The Wild Dark. We had a really great conversation, almost 2 hours long. Just the time flies by in a lot of these conversation videos. So a lot of different topics. We talked about horror, writing, editing. I mean, just a ton of stuff. So those of you who have been watching and supporting all those videos, I want to say thanks, because I do spend a lot of time to make them, make them pleasant and easygoing, and just like 2 people talking, and not so structured and, not too stuffy, I guess you can say. So this is a book I'm going to be reading next month, and I'm already trying to plan something with Catherine to meet up to discuss the book. So if you want to read this book with me and join the stream to discuss this book with Catherine, whether you're in the chat or on camera, let me know so we can start planning. We haven't planned a date yet, but that'll be hopefully next month, maybe into January, depending on holiday plans and things like that. It's a busy time, so it may be pushed into January, but I will keep you all updated. But let me know who is interested, and we will plan something out. Then on Friday, I did have 2 Friday conversations. The first one was with my friend and booktuber Yolene from Yolene Reads. We talked for an hour and a half about booktube, reading, favorite books. Those of you who came by to chat with us, I want to say thanks. It's always great when people hop in and ask questions and kind of interact. It was a great time. Whenever I talk to Yolene, we always just talk about whatever, whether it's on a group video or we just sit there and chat about whatever. I mean, the time just flies by. And I was nervous to ask her because I always think no one would want to do it. Like no one wants to come and talk to me. So I was really grateful that she agreed to come and chat, because it was a great time and I want to do it again sometime soon. Then after that, I had a chat with Thomas J. Devins. He's the author of Stone and Shield, which is the giveaway this week. So we had another great conversation about writing, axe throwing, music, Skyrim, a bunch of other topics. So that was another great time. And that's another book I plan to read and meet up with Thomas to discuss the book, maybe next month, or like I said, maybe into January. So if you're interested, let me know. But it'll be fun. And if you win the audiobook, then you can just listen to the audiobook. Then this morning I had a talk with Joseph Carroll. He is the author of More Than a Vampire. And we talked for almost 2 hours. The time just flew by. I mean, I looked at the clock and it was an hour and a half in, and it just flew by. So we talked about a bunch of different subjects. We talked a lot about movies, about vampires, history of vampires, comic books. I mean, we just went all over the place. We just veered off into all these different topics. So another thing, we did talk about this amazing cover for the book and what went into it and how it was developed. I just love this cover, and this is another book I'll be reading next month. It'll be on my TBR for December. And if any of you are curious as to what I have going on with author conversations or whatever, it is all on the calendar. So if you go to the calendar at creepingdeath.org, on the calendar, all the stuff I have planned is there for the next few months. It is all there. If you're curious, want to check it out, want to see what's coming up, or want to join one of these streams. If you're a newer booktuber who wants to join some of these, anyone's welcome. Whether you're new or existing or whatever, anyone's welcome to join. It's not an exclusive club. So check the forum, RSVP for the events, and we'd love to have you. So this week won't be as busy as last week on the channel. The video with Joseph Carroll will be up Tuesday morning. And then on Wednesday, I will have my review of We Men of Ash and Shadow by Holly Tinsley. That review will be up. And then on Wednesday, I'm having my conversation with Tim McGregor. So that will probably be out Thursday morning if I can get all the chapter notes and everything else done for that one by that time. It should be Thursday morning. That's what I'm shooting for. Then on Friday, I am having a Friday conversation with booktuber Jason's Weird Reads. That'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little bit earlier than usual, just because we had to make things work with our schedules. But Jason is one of those channels that I watched before I started a channel, and his laid back demeanor, and he's really calm and just a normal guy. Just, because I always wondered if I was not enthusiastic or, kind of like rambunctious or, that's just not my personality. I'm not really, I'm not real enthusiastic about stuff. So watching his channel made me think, well, maybe I can do something like that. So he was a big inspiration for me before I started the channel, and he continues to be a big inspiration with his content and his laid back style and demeanor. It's a channel that I've always enjoyed, and I'm really, really happy he accepted my invitation to come and chat. Also planned this week is a discussion stream for 11/22/63 that will be on Monday, which is 11/22/21. I just had to do it, and I had to squeeze it in just because it only happens once a year. 11/22 happens once a year. So I squeezed it in the TBR, and this is why I'm in the bind I'm in now. But we have the discussion tomorrow with a bunch of friends coming by to chat about the book. So that's happening tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And next Saturday on the 27th, we have our Wizard and Glass stream that will be at 4 p.m. Eastern. And at 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll be having our Beguiled by Night meetup to discuss Beguiled by Night with friends Stacy, Ashley, my wife Brandy will be there, and also author Nicole Eigener will join us to discuss Beguiled by Night. Also next Sunday, I'm having an author conversation with Lex Jones, so that will be recorded Sunday, and I'll have that out the following week. All these, like I said, all these conversations kind of just started piling, but I'm going to start, I think, kind of spread them out a little bit more, because I want them to get the attention that I feel like they deserve, because I do spend a lot of time on them. I want them to have time to breathe. So I'm going to start spreading that out a little bit better. I think I just have so much fun with them that I start planning them too often sometimes. And and then I record these videos, and then I want to save it for, a few days. And I'm so excited to get them out there that I want to release them. So it's just one of those things. But like I said, all that's on the calendar if you want to check it out. I also wanted to show off something I received this week, which is from Northwest Reader Christina. I am in her Patreon, and this is our bookmark this month. It's a Chucky bookmark. It's an interactive bookmark, and I think this thing is just so awesome. So it is an interactive bookmark, and you can take Chucky out. It's the box that Chucky's in, and I just think this is so cool. So it is an interactive bookmark. So it was a Patreon. It's a Patreon gift this month, and also I received a Scream sticker. So that is just stuff I want to show off because I think she does some great work with her bookmarks and her stickers. And so if you haven't checked out her Etsy shop or her Patreon, check it out if you're looking for bookmarks. Great for holiday stuff coming up. It's an easy gift with a bookmark or stickers or whatever. So they're fun little things to give your book loving friends. And I've mentioned this a few times before, but I always try and include new questions in my conversation videos. So if you have any suggestions for questions, please leave them down below. And also during our conversation, Yolene and I were talking about DNFing books, and she made a great point about, you can DNF a book, but that doesn't mean you can't come back to it. So in the comments, let me know how far in you decide to DNF a book, if you do decide to DNF it. And once you DNF it, are you closing the door on it, or will you come back later and try again? So I think some people go like halfway, some people go longer or shorter. What is your policy for DNFing a book? And let me know if that means you close the door on it permanently, or are you open to coming back to it? And let me know down below what you've been reading, what you plan on reading. How's your week going? Let me know how things are going for you. If you have any special plans, let me know. If you want to connect with me, you can always connect with me on the forum, which is where we plan all these events and things, and we chat about books or video games or sports or just random stuff, which is creepingdeath.org. I can also be found on Twitter, which is @SteveTalksBooks, and I usually talk mainly book stuff there. I don't talk much. I don't really mention much other than books there, just because Twitter can be a scary place. But I do post my personal stuff, like what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, what I'm watching, my dogs, things like that. I use Vero. It's an algorithm-free social media platform. It's ad-free as well, and it's amazing the difference without the algorithm. There's a big difference in what you see. Instead of seeing the algorithm craft what they think you want to see versus just seeing the people you follow in your feed, it's a really strange difference. So thanks again for coming by. Hope you're all having a great week. I appreciate you spending the time. I appreciate all the support. I know what I do here is a little different with all the different conversations, so thanks for hanging out, and thanks for supporting me. Thanks for supporting what I do. And it's just, I'm having a blast with it. So it's great that I've found some people who connect with it and who enjoy it. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. All the support, all the kind words means a lot. So, and also if you are, like I said, a newer booktuber or someone who just wants to connect, to meet other booktubers, reach out to me. I'm always looking to make new friends. So it's great connecting with other people who enjoy the same things. Or even if you're just a viewer of YouTube and you want to connect, I mean, I'm open. I love connecting to everyone. You don't have to be a booktuber to connect, to just chat about whatever. So thanks for coming by. Hope you have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.